coach at brookeboothcoaching.com. I help people in LDS faith transition who are in mixed faith marriages. So I'm going to talk about when we demand perfection from our marriage. So my husband is like my favorite person. He really is my favorite person in the whole world. I mean, that's why I married him, right? He is sometimes also super annoying, just like anybody else, just like any relationship. Sometimes they're a little annoying, right? Sometimes I want to kiss his face and love on him, and sometimes I want a little bit of space. Sometimes I want to follow him around everywhere and just admire him. And sometimes I tell him to go take a shower because he smells, right? I like to tell myself that this is all the 50-50. When I say 50-50, I mean half good, half not so good of marriage. All marriages are 50-50. All of them. Mixed faith marriages, same faith marriages, they all have things we love and things we don't love so much. All of them. Half the time things are great, half the time things are smelly, right? So what trips us up, especially in mixed faith marriages, is we expect our marriage to be great 100% of the time. And this is not only silly, but harmful. When we expect our husband to always be handsome, or we expect ourselves to always think he is handsome, we're setting ourselves up for an absolutely impossible standard. When the hiccups come along, we think there's a problem. When really it's just a hiccup. When we expect things to not always be perfect, when we expect smelly armpits and grumpy days, we're so much more gentle and flexible with ourselves and with our spouse. Because we know nothing has gone wrong, we simply realize that yes, we are a human in a marriage to another human, right? We recognize we don't have to be madly in love, and it doesn't need to be a problem. It just means that maybe we're having an off day. This idea of a 50-50 marriage has been a gift of grace to me and to my marriage, because I really believe perfectionism in relationship causes more erosion to our relationships than most things. And now hear me on this. In a mixed faith marriage, if you're miserable all way more than 50% of the time, then I would say, like, even if you're like, the 50-50 is interesting because it's just meaning like 50% what you would term positive and 50% of what you would term negative. And sometimes negative is, when you have to show up with courage or you have to show up with determination. Those aren't always considered positive emotions. They don't always feel good. So think about it in your mixed faith marriage. If it's really hard all of the time, you definitely need to get a coach or a therapist or somebody to help you so you can bring it to a level where it's normal, right? 50-50, where there's always a little bit of good and always a little bit of bad, and that's just perfectly normal. But if it's terrible all of the time, or if you think it should be better than it is, it could be really good to get an outside perspective. Like, is what you're experiencing abnormal? Is what you're experiencing completely normal? And this is just part of the regular hiccups we have in relationships. So really interesting and important questions to ask yourself. Are you expecting perfection of your marriage and your partner? Or are you having genuine issues that need to be addressed with outside help? Really good questions to ask yourselves. So what do you make it mean when your marriage is off for a few days or a few weeks or a few months? When does it become a problem? What do you make it mean if you want a little bit of space? What do you make it mean if things are bumpy now and then? What do you make it mean if things are bumpy like every single day? Do you worry? Do you make it a problem? Do you go and get help? Do you bury it? Do you ignore it? Like, what are you doing? All of these things are really interesting and to figure out. If you need help figuring out this, reach out to me and let's talk. I offer a few free calls every single week, just a handful. Let's get on the phone and let's find out what's going on with your mixed faith marriage. Do you need help? Do you just need to reevaluate what normal is? Do you need to have outside perspective to help you raise it back to the 50-50 because now it's 80% or 90% of the time terrible? Let's get on a call and let's find out. Let's figure it out together. This is what I do. I specifically help Mormons in mixed faith marriages because when I learned from my own mixed faith marriage, my husband and I, though very smart, though very accomplished, though very clever people, did not have the tools we needed to figure it out. We did not have the tools we needed to navigate this very new thing for us. We needed outside help. So where are you in your marriage? Is it really a challenge or is it just normal? Contact me. Let's figure it out. Let's see where you are and if you need somebody like me to come and help you, or maybe you just need to reframe your current thoughts around your marriage. All right, wishing you the best.